Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So this is Facecam me here. Um, Bloodborne community, we need to have a little bit of a chat. We need to have a little bit of a chat. Alright. And of course before I get into there, hello, I am Hot Sauce Man. Welcome to the channel. The Facecam me is a pretty rare occurrence. Um, so the reason why I'm talking about this, I know it blew up recently. I want to give my personal thoughts on the situation. And also, I want to give some contingency plans because I do know I have a March stream planned for Bloodborne's 10-year anniversary. So I want to know, will that live stream change if there is a 10-year anniversary? You know, what's going to happen there? What's going to happen? Um, but first and foremost, gonna give two status updates. First off, the super tier list video, it might just be purely me, the warlock that I am supposed to be having on here has not really been communicating very well. I'm gonna be perfectly honest, which does suck. um, now, that being said, I'm gonna give all the supers a fair shake and whatnot, so do keep that in mind. I do know that the Destiny 2 videos have been getting a lot of views on the channel. However, do keep in mind this channel is not a primarily Destiny channel. Destiny 2 is going to get pretty sparing videos, right? I only have the post-patch subclass video planned for the rest of this act. I do not plan on making any other videos with it. Period. And for Act 3, the only video that I am for sure making is a shotgun build for Titans. That's it. So just keep that in mind as we go forward, is that I am mostly a Soulsborne channel first, then Destiny 2 second, then whatever I want to play third. Now, a couple of announcements. I do know that Sparking Zero is supposed to be having a December patch. Will I be covering that? Probably not, unless there's new maps added or something like that. Then I might play a ranked match or two on the map. So, there's that. Other than that, I do know the Bleach game is supposed to be coming out in March as well. I am not going to be covering that game, probably. I'm not particularly interested in it, because it's not necessarily the style of Bleach game that I was expecting. It seems to be kind of like just a generic, kind of like Mortal Kombat-esque style fighting game story. And that's not something I personally want in a Bleach game. I would like to explore the world of Bleach myself, playing as a specific character, not just cutscene, fight, cutscene, fight. That's not something that I particularly like. So I probably will not be covering the game. I don't even know if I will be getting it. But now, alright, we're gonna skip a lot of this trailer because I do not care. I do not care. By the way, there is a new game named Light of Moron or something like that. It's the Horizon Zero Dawn copycat, by the same studio as Pal World. I don't know what everybody was expecting. This studio is known for copying other people's IPs. Like, this company is known for copying other people's stuff. I don't know why people are surprised. Sony is a little bit of a big boy, and they just got Pal World on PlayStation, so I don't know what's going to happen with this project. I don't think there's enough there for them to get sued. I don't think there's enough there for them to get sued. It looks interesting. I might play it with a few friends if, we, enjoy it or whatever, but I do struggle with survival games, at least making content on them. But we're gonna hold on. We're gonna skip ahead here. That's it. That's all Bloodborne. That's all of Bloodborne that was shown. That's all of Bloodborne that was shown. That's it. So this one, like, not even like 5-second clip, got everybody, riled up. Bloodborne went in, like, the highest I saw was number 19 on Twitter. Like, right after this dropped, I saw Bloodborne trending number 21, in general on Twitter, and I was like, what the fuck happened? So this one shot, this threw everyone out, everybody's like, oh my god, Oh my god, Bloodborne is being mentioned. Let's chill out, people. This is not like most PlayStation games. Bloodborne actually gets mentioned every so often. I mean, from what I saw in the comments, Jackson Dexter was not even was mentioned in this trailer and wasn't even in Astrobot. Bloodborne was in Astrobot. Bloodborne does get mentions by Sony every so often. It's not like Sony knows this game exists. I don't like. I'm sorry, but like as a Bloodborne fan myself, like it's kind of ridiculous to be surprised that Sony's mentioning Bloodborne. To me, it's not a surprise at all. And also people were like, "Oh, this trailer looks like an upscaled version of the game." It's not. I'm gonna show you where this exact clip comes from. It comes from a trailer called "Cut You Down." So we're gonna watch this whole thing. Oh, by the way, something I should probably mention: Japan Studio is no longer in existence. Just keep that in mind. That the original studio that was put together, I don't think Bloodborne was the only project they worked on, but they are defunct. It no longer exists. I am gonna talk about the Kadokawa stuff in a bit. Hold on a second, something's off with the fucking quality. It's 1080p! This was an old trailer. I'm gonna be perfectly honest, this trailer's pretty bad. I'm just gonna be perfectly honest. The music choice is garbage. Like they should have chosen literally any of the music from the actual game over whatever the fuck this song is. It doesn't fit the vibe of any of the music in Bloodborne. It's a good song in its own, it just doesn't match with Bloodborne's music. It was definitely only chosen because they cut you down. It's interesting that they showed some of the challenge sections here. Right there. Right there. I like how it's most replayed too! Yeah. Holy, 2015 is crazy. I was 14 at the time when this game came out. I did not even play video games until I was like 17 or 18. Now, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Um, Here's a couple of things to be concerned about. So, okay, wow, there are several things we have to talk about here. So, first and foremost, number one, let's talk about From Software, Kadokawa, and PlayStation. Well, Sony. There are several misconceptions about this. I have done some digging on it. First and foremost here, the primary thing to consider is Sony does not want to buy Kadokawa. Sony does not want to buy Kadokawa. They only want to buy From Software. They don't want to buy Kadokawa. So those people saying that, oh, Sony wants a monopoly on anime because Kadokawa is mostly primarily anime, and Sony already owns a fat chunk of anime. Sony doesn't. They don't want Kadokawa. They only want From Software. I am going to assume that it's because they might want a Bloodborne sequel, or the Demon Souls remake wasn't received as well as they want to, so they might want to do. They probably want more Souls likes on their specific platform. And they have Stellar Blade, yes, but in my opinion, it's not. It's a loose Souls like. It's not like a true Souls like, because I'm gonna be perfectly honest here. In order to be a true Souls like, your gameplay cannot be based on primarily parrying. In my personal opinion, it cannot be primarily based on parrying. So I would not define Sekiro as a true Souls like. And Bloodborne, in my opinion, is not really a true Souls-like either. That's why it's a Souls-born. Yeah, that's why it's called Souls-born, not just Souls-like. Elden Ring, in my opinion, is closer to a Souls-like than Bloodborne, Sekiro, and Stellar Blade are. Now, here's the thing with Kadokawa, right? Kadokawa is trying to force Sony to buy them. Kadokawa is trying to force them to buy Sony. Because Kadokawa right now is in danger of being taken by a company over in the United States. Like outside, like over in the West. They're in danger of being taken. Imagine if Microsoft got a hold of Kadokawa. Imagine how bad that would be. Because they would own Activision Blizzard, they would own Bethesda, obviously they own 343, and they would own From Software too. And Microsoft would actually make Soulsborne games. Like they would actually make any project that From Software tried to make. They would try to make those exclusive. Because right now Xbox is actually struggling in the exclusives department. So I do dive into a little bit of marketing and whatnot. So something interesting to note here is the reason why Xbox doesn't have too many games that are exclusives to them currently is because if for them, for Microsoft specifically, releasing an Xbox exclusive actually does not help them at all. Because Xbox consoles undersold were really what they wanted to, a lot of the numbers are fudged, but the flat out thing is Sony exclusives do way better than Xbox exclusives does. So, unfortunately, Xbox has to force their hand and release a lot of their exclusive projects at least on PC and then sometimes on PS5 as well. Like I'm just gonna be perfectly honest, if COD gets taken off of PlayStation and it's only on PC and Xbox, they lose a fat chunk. They lose a fat chunk of players. So that's something to think about here. Now, Kadokawa doesn't want to risk being taken by a company in the West, so they're trying to force Sony to buy them. However, Sony doesn't want to buy Kadokawa. They only want From Software. By the way, Sony already owns 15% of From Software. I am going to assume it's from the Japan studio thing and from Bloodborne specifically in their collaboration, but they want to own From Software specifically. And people are going to be like, oh, they're going to make it exclusives or whatever. No, no, Sony is not that stupid. I hope. Sony's not stupid enough to think that, hey, we should just make, I don't know, Elden Ring 2 exclusive. By the way, there are no plans for an Elden Ring 2. I'm going to nip that in the bud right now. Elden Ring is considered to be Miyazaki's magnum opus, meaning like it's his best project, but his favorite project to work on was Bloodborne. So that's Bloodborne's not Miyazaki's magnum opus, but it was his favorite project to work on. Meanwhile, Elden Ring is his magnum opus. I believe there are no plans for sequels. We do not expect that. I would not be surprised if we get an actual true co-op like a co-op, an actual co-op Souls game. Mostly due to Miyazaki did have some positive things to say about a seamless co-op mod for Elden Ring. So, and he does recognize that there's interest in that sort of genre. So here's where we get to outside of the marketing stuff. Y'all can tune back in. I do apologize, but so yeah, the long and short of it, Kadokawa is getting poached by Western companies. Kadokawa doesn't want that. Sony wants to buy From Software, not the rest of Kadokawa. However, because From Software makes up, I believe it's a third or two-thirds, one of the two, they make up a fat chunk of Kadokawa's profits. Kadokawa can't really afford to lose From Software, so Kadokawa's like, hey, if you want From Software, you have to buy us. Do we know if it's going through? No. If it actually does go through, I do expect a Bloodborne 2 to get made. I do not believe we're getting that at all. Blue Point is not working on another From Software. They're not working on a remake. They're working on their own game. So I'm gonna nip that in the bud here. They're not working on a game. So, you might be asking yourself, Hot Sauce Man, do you have any positive news? Well, there's a couple of interesting things that are kind of happening. Also, it is funny that they put persistence for Bloodborne. I definitely think it's more of a gameplay thing, not really like a trolley thing, but here's the thing. Last year, a supposed leak, but it was more of a rumor, that was going around was that Bloodborne, a Bloodborne remake or remaster was being worked on, but it might not be ready for Game Awards. And when it didn't appear at Game Awards, people were like, "Oh, like they were like Pikachu surprise face. Oh no, like their clown makeup and everything was on." The rumor had said that it might not be ready. I would probably, if we get anything, it's going to be revealed at Game Awards. It has to. Do I think it's going to be a full-on remake? It's hard to say because of some interesting facts about Bloodborne. First and foremost, if we get a remake, I would not be surprised if the chalice dungeons are way more restricted. I would not be surprised if the chalice dungeons are way more restricted, because that was quite an expansive system, and I'm not sure how that does. And people say, "Oh, just bring it up to 60 FPS." That's not how that works. Go look into the Shad PS4 stuff as well, and look into people trying to bring that game up to 60 FPS, and look into people that have done it successfully. There are a lot of issues with trying to bring Bloodborne up to 60. There's dodging issues, there are night and day cycle issues, there's lighting issues. There's a lot of issues that happen when you bring Bloodborne up to 60 FPS, unfortunately. And also, some of enemies' moves are faster, or are quite different when bringing the frame up to 60 FPS. There's a crap ton of things tied to frames. So in my opinion, what will probably happen, and by the way, the server's going offline means nothing. It happens every so often, right? I'm just trying to put the Bloodborne fans I'm trying to put all of us Bloodborne fans into a realistic spot here. And that realistic spot is Game Awards is next Thursday. If nothing gets announced there, nothing will happen. On Bloodborne's 10-year anniversary, nothing will happen. That's my prediction. If nothing gets announced at Game Awards, or at least teased, we are definitely not getting anything for Bloodborne's 10-year anniversary. Now, if we do, I would expect it to be a remaster. I feel like it's a little too late and too close to time for it to be a remake. I think it's more likely that we get a remaster rather than a remake. I just feel like it's too late to be marketing towards a remake. A remaster is a little bit different, but remasters are kind of just like a situation. So now, might be asking yourself, Hot Sauce Man, what's the stream plan if it is a remaster or even like a remake? I'll tell you the plan. The plan is a stream will actually happen much earlier if it's a remaster or a remake. A stream will happen much earlier than the 10-year anniversary. It will be an early celebration stream. And I don't mean just like in March, it'll probably be in February, or I think not, probably not January, but it might be in February that I might stream it. And then, or early March. And then y'all will get the first video series to drop on the anniversary. The first episode of the video series to drop on the anniversary. I could just work super hard to get that out to y'all. I am going to request a day off just so I can record a lot of content in advance if it is a remaster or a remake, but the way I plan on streaming the game is just so absurdly different from how I would do a video series on the game currently. If it was a remaster or a remake, there also might be changes. Some glitches might be patched that I know how to do. So those are things that I have to consider. So I will have a determined date after the Thursday stream for Game Awards. Will I be watching Game Awards? No, I am gonna have to work. Just because Torchik's birthday is in the same work week, so obviously I'm gonna celebrate, my girlfriend's birthday. So me and Torchik, I'm gonna be celebrating her birthday. It's not until after the stream, but I'm going to have to work. If I open or work a mid shift and do not open the next day, that's the key part. I will be streaming, but probably not. If I do, it'll be a surprise. Also, on that note, That's the Bloodborne news you need to know. I have condensed a lot of the news that's kind of been coming out. I wanted to have y'all's expectations set. Do not worry for Game Awards. I will be even if I'll be working, I might like listen to it or whatever. But while I'm at work, but don't worry, I will be huffing that hopium. I will be having the full clown makeup on, figuratively speaking. I will be, pulling the Vic Armelia pose. I will be doing whatever I can. Don't worry, I'll be right there with the Bloodborne fans. But I do have to set realistic expectations. Now, remakes probably not happening. Remaster is more likely, but not that much. It's just too late to really be marketing it. It'd be crazy if they started marketing a remake now. But on that note, though, let me know what y'all think in the comments below, and I'll catch y'all on the flip side.